Bethesda Starfield problem. Here we go.
Alright, I'm not done talking about Bethesda yet. It's not going to be this entire channel's life, but Bethesda has been a big part of my life.
I see the error here. I am going to move this. I'll put going on YouTube. It is your boy Alex, and I just want to say thank you guys for clicking on this video. It really means a lot. It really does. This entire video that you're about to see was done live on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'd love to see you guys there. But for those of you that prefer YouTube, I understand. I really do. I will still continue to upload, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what you thought about the video and leave a like or dislike depending on how you enjoyed the video. With that out of the way, thank you so much. Be sure to join my Discord and my Twitch. Both links are down in the description. Now back to the video.
Alright, I'm not done talking about Bethesda yet. It's not going to be this entire channel's life, but Bethesda has been a big part of my life for a long time. And we gotta talk about Starfield. But let's start with the good. So Bethesda Game Studios released Morrowind in 2002, Oblivion in 2006, Fallout 3 in 2008, Skyrim in 2011. Take a look at this.
I played Fallout 3 in 2010. And that was like one of the coolest experiences I ever had as a kid.
Notice anything? Newer Bethesda fans might be kind of blown away by this picture. They released 3 of their best games. Fallout 3 came out 2 years after Oblivion, and Skyrim came out 3 years after Fallout 3.
Oh, okay. Okay, Canadian. Huh. But yeah, I remember this too. Like, Bethesda used to pump out games. And now we're waiting. It's been like 20 years since Skyrim. What the fuck, man? It's been 11 years. We're coming up on 11 years collectively for Fallout 4.
That's what happens.
I don't know why I said collectively.
Studio that is just focused on making good games. And again, I'm not saying everything is great about these games, but especially for their time, they were something special. And they all released within 5 years of each other. Anyway, moving on. We got Fallout 4 in 2015 and Fallout 76 in 2018.
It's our first major release in about 8 years.
Yeah. Oh, what was that, Todd? What was that? Oh, okay, so Fallout 76 wasn't really a major release then. Well, in that case, then we have Starfield in 2023. And this is the game we're going to talk about. So very quick history on the first time we knew about Starfield. 2013 with the ZeniMax trademark, updated in 2018.
I didn't know that. I've never heard that. I've watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia as well. I really enjoyed that show. That show was pretty fucking funny. But I don't remember that crossover episode. I don't remember a lot of that episode, like that show. So Starfield first appeared in 2013 and updated in 2018. Okay.
And then it was, shown at E3 2018. E3 2018, what a fun one.
16 times the detail.
It began the 76 era, and it's where Bethesda first mentioned Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. Then nothing. So next came the Microsoft deal. These guys have been pals for a long time, and Microsoft really wanted that big, juicy Bethesda IP. You know, the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. But Microsoft thought, maybe Starfield? Real fast while we're talking about this. Microsoft buys ZeniMax for $7.5 billion, pulls Starfield away from PlayStation, doesn't make any new Elder Scrolls or Fallout, and they thought profit? Do they even like money? Anyway, we do have to touch on the Starfield delay.
I never understood this either. And I have a business degree, but I've never really used it. Maybe these executives know something that I don't. It doesn't seem like they do, but I don't know why they would say, oh, let's try and double down on this brand new IP that we haven't even released yet, instead of taking a look at our current IPs and doubling down on that. But even if they did double down on their current IPs, I don't think they would be able to figure out how to make money with it. I mean, look at Xbox. Look at Call of Duty. Look what Microsoft has done with Call of Duty. It's total dog shit. It's total dog shit. They burned that cash. They burned that $69 billion that they used to buy Activision Blizzard. They are burning it by doing the Game Pass shit. And that's why they're fucking Game Pass and making it shittier, because they need to make up for the lost money that Call of Duty is no longer bringing in.
Originally meant for November 11th, 2022, delayed to early 2020.
There was a creator, I don't remember who it was specifically, but they said Microsoft loves to put their hands in something and then never do anything with it. And the best example of that was Mixer. Microsoft wanted some of that streaming whatever. Even Skype too. They did this with Skype, but with Mixer, they put their hands in the streaming world, never like changed it, never introduced really anything new, and boom. Look what happened. It fucking died. Mixer died. And look how much money they lost on that shit. Yeah, I agree. It was, but Microsoft just didn't do shit to like really make it good, I guess, or make it better. You can't, it's not enough to be just as good as Twitch. You have to be better. Just pump out a war-themed game every fall and make there be zombie modes. Yeah, basically.
3,
for Call of
eventually
Duty.
released on September 6, 2023. More importantly, I want to talk about why Starfield was
100%
the
they
theory
are.
online, or maybe even what they said, is to fix bugs, but I think Microsoft thought it was boring.
It's one of the best things about Starfield, pointing at it. Play on work, on my PC, when I go home, I sit on my console and I go play, and it's just a continuous experience for me, and everything moves. It's fantastic.
Amazing.
They thought give Todd and the boys a couple more years. I mean, they'll come up with something, right? So the Starfield marketing. This one I find kind of interesting. Everyone heard the whole Skyrim in space thing. Really dumb. There was 1,000+ planets to explore. Lots of procedural generation.
When I heard this, I instantly thought No Man's Sky, but Bethesda. And what I was hoping for when I saw the Starfield stuff was different alien races on all these planets, right? Now, obviously, they can't do 1,000+ races. That would be absolutely insane to do. If they cared about it that much, I guess they could. But no, I haven't. I saw some gameplay and I was not impressed. It doesn't seem like something that I like. I don't want to spend my money on it, and it doesn't seem like something that I'm gonna get into. If that makes sense. And plus, I'm not a super big like space exploration guy. I'm just I tried No Man's Sky, but it just wasn't for me. If I'm gonna buy Starfield though, it would be for the Star Wars mod. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, well, the problem with the Game Pass one, I can't do the Star Wars mod with the Game Pass. So I'd have to buy the game.
And it was their first new IP in 25 years. The marketing to me...
Oh, but what I was going back to, I wish they had at least a few alien factions, and they could have been like, you know, having maybe like factional like ties, or having a war with each other against different planets. And when you go to those different planets, you can see, I think that would have been really cool. Because if they're saying Skyrim in space, I remember in Skyrim, there was the different houses or castles or whatever that you would go to, and then you could do like different jobs and stuff like that. But I know they weren't like really at war, but there were different factions that you could get into and do stuff for and work against and all that, which was super cool. And they even did it in Fallout. Like, they've done that in Fallout, but I wish they had the aliens doing it. That way you could like communicate with them, kind of like Outer Worlds a little bit. Yeah, because I don't know, I feel like when you think space, people don't want it to be like realistic space. No, they would want it to be like realistic space. They would want aliens and shit, you know? Like, if you're going to do us a space game, give us a space game, you know? Like, sure, doing a bunch of planets is nice, but if the planets are empty and you're just going around collecting resources and stuff, I don't know, that gets hollow, you know? Like, that was my problem with No Man's Sky. There's like different life forms, but there's no like anything sentient, really, you know? And for me, I think it's Starfield, No Man's Sky, if they had that kind of thing, I'd be way more into it. But the survival aspect of it alone is not enough for me. And that's perfectly fine. Not every game needs to be for me. But But when I think Bethesda, I think, a lot of different things working together or working against each other, I did have a quest break, of course, Bethesda. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I wish there was more to see, you know?
Explains a really boring space game. If you could just ignore the Skyrim and space thing because everybody knew that was a lie. Looking at these bottom three,
this guy's basically saying what I'm saying.
This looks terrible. And I'm not saying Bethesda shouldn't make a new IP. I'm saying you shouldn't take 8 fucking years to do it. But yeah, there was nothing.
Yeah, I always hated that too. That's a Bethesda thing, like across all the games, especially like New Vegas. It's like, hey, go over here, go halfway across the map, go pick this up, kill this person, come back to me. I'm like, bro, I might be a courier, but fuck, I'm trying to figure out who shot me in the head.
Exciting in this marketing, and people bought this game because of the Bethesda name. Everybody fucking knows that. So Starfield's release, oh, look out. Microsoft reported a 1 million concurrent player base. We can confirm 330,000 on Steam. It apparently made about $650 million and only cost about $200 million to make. So it did make money, apparently. I mean, hats off to them. But Starfield did not capture the players. And this isn't anecdotal. We have evidence. Real fast, when you first look at this, doesn't this stand out? Especially when compared to this? But yeah, you can compare any of them to the bottom one, and I mean...
Wow. That is insane, in fact. That is quite wild. Wow. Okay.
There is a clear standout here. That is a 98.7%.
So, when they speak 1 million concurrent players, that does include people on Game Pass, I'm sure. But when they speak about sales, it gets skewed. They like to skew it. A lot of these outlets that report on these things, they like to skew it, and they like to go by the numbers. But he gave the actual profit that they made was $650 million. So they didn't really lose money from Game Pass at that point, I'm pretty sure, because he said right here, it costed about $200 million to make. So they made $450 million in profit. Not bought downloads. I think they have a whole different metric for that for sure. But the information's not here. And most of the time, Xbox and Sony don't give out the numbers like that. The number of downloads or the number of people that are playing it on Game Pass and stuff like that. Besides that, like, what are they called? Investor meetings. Only Steam shows concurrent players. And obviously Steam is it's a one metric, but it does show trends.
Not capture the players. And this isn't anecdotal. We have evidence. Real fast, when you first look at this, doesn't this stand out? Especially when compared to this. But yeah, you can compare any of them to the bottom one, and I mean, there is a clear standout here. That is a 98.7% drop. Ouch. Just get that off the screen. That is horrible. So I did a poll about Starfield.
COD had something similar. Yo, Xbox is bleeding players, bro. COD lost like what, 70% of its player base or something like that with Black Ops 7?
Starfield feel like a Bethesda Game Studios game. The standout is definitely there at the bottom. But even if we exclude that and just take the 50% on top, one word pops into my head. It's just clear indifference. People do not feel strongly about Starfield at all. These were the top comments. I agree with all of them. Now, for me in a Bethesda game, kind of the main reason I play these games at all,
he left that barely up there. I was totally a Bethesda style game with all of the cons and none of the pros. That's pretty good. It looked like an incomplete game because they assumed the modding community would fill in the content for them. This is something too. I didn't even think about this, but this is so true, bro. Skyrim is still going strong because of the modding community. But to be fair, to play devil's advocate here for Bethesda, there's a lot of modders out there that have kept games alive. Modding just keeps your game alive. It just does. Baldur's Gate 3. I'm playing the game again for like the 7th time, okay? I love that game. I really do. I installed mods It's like a completely different game. There's so many more things. There's so many different weapons. I have weapons that were deleted from the game, etc., etc. It's so cool. Yeah, I mean, look at the Gooners. The Gooners have kept Overwatch alive. Overwatch would 100% be a dead IP if it wasn't for the Gooners. That's all I'm saying. No, I have seen that mod, and it looks absolutely hilarious. I need to install it. All the worst parts of one. Yeah.
All of them.
Okay.
Now, for me in a Bethesda game, kind of the main reason I play these games at all is for the exploration. I would say.
Sorry, going back to another point that I made previously about the survival games. I enjoyed 4. I enjoyed Fallout 4, but it felt more like a survival game than a Fallout game, action RPG survival game, you know? And it wasn't, it was more action RPG rather than RPG like I felt like 3 was and Fallout New Vegas were. You know? For example, another great example of what I'm trying to say is the variety of choice. Baldur's Gate 3, right? There's a lot of variety of choice in that. I don't get a variety of choice, I feel like, very much, or have choices that are extremely impactful to the story, the overall story of Fallout 4. I don't feel that. There's only I feel like there's 1 or 2 defining moments. I felt like I haven't played the game in a few years, but from what I remember, basically I get to choose. I can do all the factions, and then at the very end, I make my decision. That's the biggest decision. That's what it felt like. Really? Oh, so you played Starfield on console? Yeah, I don't know what it is, bro. I just feel like people can't make shit for PCs now. Maybe it's just too hard. I don't know. GTA always takes 2 years extra to come out on PC, so you know. That's not true. It took 8 months for GTA 4, 2 years for GTA 5. Now for GTA 6, I'm going to assume 2 years. Maybe more. Yeah, you would think that as well.
I'm probably not the only one here. So if we compare exploration from pre-Starfield to Starfield, before it was walking, accidental, player-driven, and interesting. In Starfield, It is menus, fast travel, and loading screens. When you got to your destination, before it was handcrafted, told a story, and there was something to do. In Starfield, it's generated, maybe a copy-paste structure, and then you just fast travel to the next. Again, I don't think any of this is unique.
I played it in Germany, Dying Light 2, and I enjoyed what I really liked what I was experiencing, but I stopped playing about halfway through. There is a new one, Dying Light the Beast, and apparently it's very good. Very good.
Which is kind of why
I've heard nothing but great things about it. Anyways, I want to rewind this because I want to hear what he said.
Fast travel and loading screens. When you
hit it right on the nail there.
Before it was handcrafted, told a story, and there was something to do. In Starfield, it's generated, maybe a copy-paste structure, and then you just fast travel to the next. Again, I don't think any of this is a unique take, which is kind of why it's so baffling that Bethesda.
So again, I have not played Starfield, but I felt this way a little bit for Fallout 4. When I was a kid and I played Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, and even now as an adult, when I went back and played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, I find myself just kind of wandering through the world. I don't find and seeing things and going there and being like, holy shit, what the fuck did I walk into? Even when I played Skyrim, I did the same. And when I was playing Oblivion offline as well, when I had it on Game Pass, I did the same. I go to a random cave and just start figuring out what the fuck is going on in that cave. Now, I don't do that. In Fallout 4, I always just want to fast travel everywhere I go because I don't find the world interesting. It's more like the most interesting part of it to me was the action RPG part because that's how they designed the game. No vehicle, bro. They have no vehicle. You telling me you got spacecrafts but no vehicles? Oh, okay. Okay. Hopefully they did add vehicles. If not, then the modders probably did.
It went down this road. How about the random encounters in Bethesda's older games? You can see they gradually go up with each game. How many does Starfield have? 22. How about locations?
What?
You can see Bethesda's old games have quite a bit. Starfield has about 23. Now,
What?
I know what you're thinking. How many planets do these games have? And I will say you have me, because these games only have one each. And Starfield has over 1,500. I just find it weird that all of these stats have been they've all been going in the other direction.
It's so crazy to me. Because I'm no game developer. I don't make games or anything like that. But I see a fundamental problem with this. If you might have 1,500 locations, but do you have 1,500 interesting locations? That's the key point. Is it interesting? Is it something that I would want to just land on and start walking around, or have a vehicle and see something out in the distance, a building or something, or some kind of civilization, something like that? And if not, then you have 1,500 planets for what? You have bloat. You don't have content, you have bloat. That's what I'm saying, Canadian. And those books, dude, those books had like hella good lore. You could find out such cool shit in those books.
Actually, there is
a
1,500
yawn
Starfield
fest
that has gone up with time, and it is dialogue. You can see dialogue for the previous games go up with time, and Starfield has 250,000 lines of dialogue. That's a lot. Can you remember any of them? Is there a single memorable line of dialogue in Starfield? I can't. We have to talk about the brand damage Starfield did, of course. I think it's reasonable to ask if Bethesda even knows why we like their games. You also have to wonder if they even care, because I mean, 76 and Starfield are apparently pretty monetarily successful. And of course, my favorite question is, where is the Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5?
Pretty crazy.
And if I may talk about that for a second, Skyrim to Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be about 16 years. Fallout 4 to Fallout 5 is going to be about 18 years. GTA 5 to GTA 6.
Brother, 2 decades. 2 decades almost. Fallout 4 came out, what, 2015? Brother, I was still in high school. I graduated high school. I did a contract in the Navy. I bought a house. I got married. And there's still no Fallout 5. Blind dude on guard duty? That doesn't even make sense.
About 13 years. Maybe 14, who knows. The Last of Us to The Last of Us 2, 7 years. Uncharted 1 to Uncharted 4, 9 years. Halo 1 to Halo 3, 6 years. Witcher 3 to Witcher 4, 12 years? 12 years about, maybe? Not to be clear, I think all of these are unacceptable. But I can promise you one thing. The two that are going to take the longest...
Wait, which one? What came out? Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. But to be fair, there are people that only like the Fallout series and only like the Elder Scrolls series. So for them, this does have meaning, you know?
Are probably going to be worse. We got to talk about them.
Now, for people like you and I who probably enjoy both Elder Scrolls and Fallout, but maybe favor one or the other, yeah, we've had breaks. You know, we've had games in between for sure.
He's been the lead designer and or writer on every Bethesda Game Studios game since Fallout 3. Sometimes he does both, sometimes he does one, and he thinks we like building shack.
No, I know. I know they can't. But at the same time, I do wonder, like, I'm using Starfield as an example, right? I think Starfield kind of gives us an inside look at how maybe they're starting to see their games or how they want to design their games. And they could be making Elder Scrolls 6 extremely big, but it might be very empty, you know? A Bully sequel would be pretty cool. I never played it. I only heard about it. I watched like a little bit of a playthrough about it, and it looked really funny. But that would be cool. Or even remastering it.
Emil is bad at his job. It's even possible that he's a big reason for Bethesda's downfall. But he is also human. I kind of see it like this. Bethesda
Okay.
Game Studios has 4 locations and about 450 employees. Probably more, who knows. And so I ask, does Emil need to do both of the very important jobs of these games? Does he need to be the lead designer and lead writer? I mean, I guess I'm not a game developer, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I know a lot of...
Wait, they only have one guy doing this? Well, no wonder it's taking so long. Oh, they did. Oh, on 360. Holy shit.
People would prefer Emil to do neither of these jobs. The problem is that Emil made it extremely easy for people to single him out.
Let's say, okay, we're going to write the great American novel. It's going to be this thick. And on every page will be written comedy and tragedy, and it'll be wonderful. It'll be amazing. And you're going to give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to rip out every page and make paper airplanes out of them. And they're going to throw them around the room. And they're never going to see your story. Because the story is there, right? But they are going to spend 30 hours making shacks.
I mean, that's just a disaster. I have to
What?
imagine that he didn't expect that to get out. I don't know. But this was very public when he was defending Starfield on Twitter. You can pause if you want to read any of them. Again, I'm not trying to, like, specifically pick on this guy. My advice to Emil would be to
Holy
please have
shit.
more faith in the fans of your franchises. That is so hard to say. Just please trust us more. We don't, not all of us just love building shacks, bro. Write that great American novel if you can do it. Just a couple other things Emil said that is, like, just out of touch. He thinks that Starfield sits right next to Fallout and the Elder Scrolls, which, I mean, if we just look at it. I mean, do you really think
What?
Starfield sits next to these
Okay.
games? It's just fucking stupid. Some other fun examples is Bethesda replying to Steam reviews. I don't know, this has to be a chatbot. It's crazy. Let's talk about some ex-developers from Bethesda. So Nate Perkypile. What a fun name. He was a 14-year artist
That's
at
a cool
Bethesda.
name.
Worked on gems such as Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Also worked on Fallout 4. He left during Starfield.
Wow.
He said the team got too big, too many meetings, and he thought he could make his own games. Turns out he did. He made his own game by himself.
Same thing happened to DICE, by the way. EA wanted more control over DICE. All the top developers at DICE that knew how to work with the good old Frostbite engine and shit left. And then we got the disaster that was 2042.
But all of this just reinforces the idea that Bethesda has become far too big and corporate. They're not that fun game studio anymore, and they have not updated their processes internally in order to really represent that size difference. Bruce Nesmith was a lead designer on Skyrim. He left in 2021. He has criticized the use of procedural generation at Bethesda. I wonder what game he was talking about there.
Oh, wow.
He says it isn't what made Bethesda successful. He much prefers working on handcrafted worlds, and he is worried for
true.
the Elder Scrolls 6.
They are
Aren't we all?
100%.
So Kurt Coleman, he is the former lore master for the Elder Scrolls. He claims
Okay.
Todd promised him the lead designer on the Elder Scrolls 6 after Skyrim released.
Okay.
He says it was supposed to come after Fallout 4. Of course, instead we got 76 and Starfield. Kurt
Yep.
claims that Todd eventually gave the Elder Scrolls 6 lead to someone else, and he also criticized communication during Starfield's development. And this one is
Damn.
just kind of sad. He said he was waiting 11 years to be the lead on the Elder Scrolls 6. So moving
Damn.
on, we have Shattered Space. This released on September 3rd, 2024.
Oh,
which
this is
was
the
about a year
Starfield
after
one.
release. I mean, you know I love comparisons. So if we compare that to Fallout 4, 9 months after release, we had Automatron, Wasteland Workshop, Far Harbor, Contraptions, Vault-Tec Workshop, and Nuka World. And hey, I mean, 3 of those were actually worth playing. For Starfield,
Holy
1 year
shit.
after release, we have Shattered Space. Not worth playing. It bumped the player count up about 5,000 from August to a healthy 22k. You can see that bump right here.
Wow.
It's right there. Yeah, you can see how that went. So Starfield 2.0.
Wow.
There is absolutely nothing confirmed by Bethesda. The community has made this name up. And I'm sure there will be more updates, but Bethesda hasn't claimed some big overhaul or anything. So if you enjoy Starfield, good, I'm glad someone does. This is nothing personal. We both want the same thing. Can we just agree that it took too long? And real quick, I just want to remind everyone that
Yeah.
all of these games had Todd Howard as the lead. So if
Holy shit.
you enjoyed any of these games, as much as we meme on Todd, I think the games were better when Todd was more involved. The less Todd got involved, the worse the games got.
Well, yeah, now he's just like the exec that's answering to Phil Spencer, basically, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that was the Bethesda Starfield problem. I'll drop it in the chat for you guys. They have become product, not art. It's true. And I hate how all of these different companies like Bethesda, Activision Blizzard are like merging into one. They're now just under Xbox, which is underneath Microsoft, you know? And then Sony bought Bungie and a few other studios, I'm pretty sure. And it's just like, okay, we're just going to have megacorps. Everything's becoming a megacorp. That's all. That's what it is.